Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. Electrifying.
Yes, guys, and welcome back to TCP Live. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you are all good on the back of the win against Chelsea. Nah, Alex is not here. So we've got the other main man, the myth, the legend. That is the great George, the tactico, the genius, the everything.
You have way too many compliments for me here. It's good, guys. Actually, the physics frontier, you are 100% factual. I've been shuffling all freaking day. It's insane. Let me try to show the people what we're talking about. This is Toronto. So to give everybody an idea of it, it's -10. This is about 20 feet up because it's my parents' place. It's not even a place that I own. And that's collecting on the windowsill, a good 20 feet up. I think we've had something like 20 centimeters of snow. And it's just insane. So yeah, the snowstorm is something. This is classic Canada.
Yeah, that's nuts. Absolutely. And here we are in the UK moaning about when it's 1 degree or 0 degrees.
Oh, bro, it's dude, that's a good 2.5, 3 centimeters on the windowsill.
Yeah.
That's 20 feet. Do you know how much snow has to fall for that long to collect for 3 centimeters on a windowsill like that?
Snow, freezing. I'm guessing it's windy as well.
Oh my
it's
God.
It's just everything that you don't want in the weather. It's everything.
And it was something like 9 degrees or something, literally 3 days ago. This country it's bipolar.
No, we have had a little storm recently, and Forder is in the chat, the main man. I'm guessing maybe perhaps Storm Goretti affected you, Forder, where you were. It wasn't too bad where I was, but yeah, we had a little mini storm.
What's your definition of storm? Is it snow? Is it rain? Winds? What's the storm kind of thing?
I've not really experienced a really bad storm ever.
Yeah.
But I hate it when if it's windy and raining.
Yeah.
It's the worst, because if it's just raining and it's not windy, I can deal with that. When it's windy as well, it's okay, this is just not.
The wind's the worst, even in anything. Even if it's snowing, it makes temperatures 10 degrees less than what it would be. Wind is the killer, I think.
Yeah,
Whether you go outside and it's if it's really bad. We've had a lot of storms recently in Toronto, personally. I mean, it's been pretty bad weather, I would say. It's just absolutely insane. Jesus, Forder, if you throw up that comment, that's insane. No water, no electric for almost a week. Over 120 mile per hour winds is absolutely insane.
No, I hope you're all good, Forder. And if anyone else is affected by the storm last week, hopefully you're all doing good. It didn't affect me at all. What we'll say though, the Liverpool game last week, that wasn't nice. The weather there, and getting back as well, it wasn't pleasant. But yeah, no, hopefully you're all good. But I'll tell you who was good yesterday, me and you, George, and everybody else who's an Arsenal fan, because we beat Chelsea again. And yeah, screw them. What I will say there, George, I've not managed to catch the IR. I was a little bit gutted. I was a little bit gutted afterwards, thinking, I'm not that happy. And that's crazy because we've literally just came out of the bridge with a 3-2 victory. We've got a 1-goal lead. But I felt that the game was there to be killed yesterday. Absolutely killed. And I felt like I'm sure you are. I am. I'm confident that we will go through, because having the second leg at the Emirates in front of our own crowd, Chelsea's record there isn't good since the Lukaku game in 21-22. We're fantastic then. I just don't see Chelsea outscoring us, or that's all that needs to happen. We can draw that game, we're good. So, but yeah, what were your thoughts? I didn't catch the IR, like I said, so I'm intrigued to know.
Look, it was different. Look, we had a director's box meeting, and another little plug out for those if you aren't that. We kind of do these monthly check-ins in which we get to talk to you guys and see your beautiful faces.
You
and
nearly,
interact,
George. I was thinking about you. When Marino had it. I had a little bit of a feel when he saved it. I thought, what a save! I thought, oh, George was so close.
The expletives that I uttered when he missed that chance, because bro, it goes 4-1. That game's ended. It's done, and the tie's done. Like, there's so many things, and I felt that performance, the scoreline, didn't reflect the dominance that was on show.
Yeah,
and at the same token, you walk out and it really does show the levels, to be honest with you. We killed this team in a lot. And I think I'm kind of getting a little bit tired of the critique in a sense, because we're so good that it has to be with a nuance of constructive criticism. Otherwise, I personally shut down because really sloppy. And a lot of my frustrated feelings was, I said in the director's box, I thought it would be a 4-1 victory. I said it on Twitter, said it before, and we were on track to do that. And then we kind of have two sloppy moments that I think are truly sloppy. And I don't think happen with, personally, our first choice goalkeeper. And, the second one, less so. The first one I thought was Kepa's fault, in terms of, I don't know why he's going out there, and you should only go out there if you're confident on claiming. But ironically, Robert Sanchez does the exact same thing, and we score from him misjudging the proactivity of it too. So, it's one of those things, and I think I said it on the IR. It's just like, I can't complain when Kepa's doing our game model, but he just is a worse quality at it. So you're gonna have those things, but it was more, I just felt like we gave them a game, and in the second half, and in particular, I felt we lost control and played the game that Chelsea would have wanted, and that frustrates me. And we almost played down to them, but it's with the nuance saying, I was never worried. Like, let's just be clear. Like, it's not a bad thing, but I'm walking out of Stamford Bridge. By the way, we are almost 7 years, right, in which we have not lost.
The last time was it was the 3-2 in Emery's first season, so that was 2017, I think it was.
Yeah.
2017. Yeah.
So we're nearly like really 7 years plus, which is insane. Like, why am I entitled enough to say I won't lose at the Stamford Bridge for 7 years? Like, I've got to rein it in, but I walk out annoyed. I walk out saying that should have been 4-1 and it was 3-2. And I'm like, hold on, can you rein in your entitlement a bit? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I definitely did walk out, and there's things that we can critique, but I'm getting tired of the crisis talk, or how unbearable and how absolutely critical, some of this stuff. And I think, Vincent, like, you're kind of echoing what my feelings are, because yes, I'm annoyed. There's things to improve on. It wasn't perfect, but why the heck are we sitting there doing it? The only frustration I had made is no Palmer, no Caicedo, no Reece.
I think that's what it is, George. I think
what it was.
Yeah, I think the frustration for me boils down to the fact that you're losing. They didn't have their big hitters. Palmer was out, Caicedo was out. I mean, Cole. We don't even talk about Cole. Cole will be starting for Chelsea on the left-hand side, right? And Reece James is massive, and Reece James was man of the match at the Bridge last time out. So that's where that's where the frustration comes from with me. I think if we'd won 3-2 and they were all there, I'd be buzzing, absolutely buzzing, because I'm looking at it over 2 legs. They had those players there. I'd say a point would have been good, because I fancy us to finish the job off at home. Like I said, I think we will get through to the final, but you leave yourself more engaged in the tie now, because it is only a 1-goal lead, right? All it takes is one moment and the game's back square, right? So, yeah, I think for me that's certainly where the frustration is.
Like, this comment is where I'm at. Like, yes, I'm annoyed, but we've literally gone from, we've lost too many games prior to losing the title, which was 23, right? 24. Then we've gone to last season, we drew too many games, and that's what has led to us losing the title. Now we're conceding too many goals. It was kind of something that we complain about. And then I'm thinking we do complain about the shots on target. We do complain about the central progression, but then what else is there? Like, I have to be honest. It's little things. It's nothing out of the ordinary. And it's more, I get frustrated when Arsenal don't show their level. And I think that's probably the only standard I really hold them to at this point, because we've been the most consistent team in the league, just factually. And we have the most consistent squad. And I'm happy with that. And, I do think, though, our results against the top 6 have taken a hit, but we've been far more consistent with teams outside the top 6.
Yeah.
And that was always logically for me. Look, from a narrative banter perspective, it sucks.
Yeah.
And from a media perspective, it's worse. But I'm telling you, to win the title, you always have more points to compete with outside teams of the top 6, and improving our consistency in those whilst maintaining a similar level of our top 6, which we have. It's just been slightly reduced. Like we've literally, I think, only lost about 6 points against the top 6, but we've gained like 12 points in teams outside the top 6.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we look at it so far, we're probably certainly a little bit off in comparison to previous season because a little bit. Like Man United, I think I don't think we should compare to last season. Perhaps maybe we should compare to the season before, because that was like 23-24 was the big title charge in which it went to the final day. Man United at Old Trafford on the first day this season, we won in 23-24 as well. Man City at home, we won in 23-24. We drew in this season. Liverpool at Anfield, we got a point there in that season. We lost the season. Liverpool at home this season, we drew. We beat them in that campaign. So there is a drop off there. But what I want to kind of bring to the table is the fact that season our record was brilliant against the so-called Big Six. And when we just look at that small little mini battles that we had, just looking at Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal, and the games between these three, we had the most points out of the three. We didn't win the league. So Man City didn't beat Liverpool or Arsenal once in that season, and they went on to win the league.
But Rohan, mate, you know what it is though? Like, I really want to hammer home this point because I don't think people understand it. 3 points against Wolves is the exact same thing as 3 points against City. But you face more Wolves and West Hams than you do Man Cities. Just logically, the top 6, guys, do the math. Like, we've got 18 teams in this league, 12 of which are not in the top 6, right?
Yeah.
I don't care who you replace. It could be Villa versus a shitty Man United, but whatever you want to call it. There are 6 teams to factually be worried about, and the broad 12, there's over double that you don't have to be worried about, respectfully. So there's twice as many games, twice as many points. You must be more consistent in the larger sample than the smaller sample. And if you drop 20 to 30% in the smaller sample, that only translates to about 6 points a season. Whereas it's double that in the top 12 or the last 12. So just factually, numbers wise, ignoring how you feel, but the narrative, you lose 6 points in the top 6, it's catastrophic. It's, oh my goodness, it's, there's a lot more grandeur to the loss and it gets highlighted. But just factually, successful champions will win by being consistent again outside the top 12 and making sure that you're competitive in top 6 fixtures. That has always been the formula, and it's not as sexy. And that's the problem.
I mean, and also, we've still got games against the so-called big teams to still draw a good comparison to those seasons before, right? We still got to play. We still got to play Spurs. We still got to play Man City at the Etihad. There's still an opportunity there to claw back points there. So yeah, I completely agree. And also, we said it many times, and I don't want to kind of repeat on this topic, but there's 2 periods in the season in which we looked at in comparison to previous campaigns, in which that first cluster against Newcastle, West Ham, Palace, and Fulham won all those games. And in previous seasons, they've been our Achilles heel in terms of defining the outcome of the league campaign. And also, we've had a recent one against the likes of Aston Villa, Brighton, Bournemouth, Liverpool, now Forest to come as well. Obviously, drop points against Liverpool, but overall, if we win against Forest, you're looking at, again, a 5-game grouping there in which we're taking big points at a time in previous seasons, excluding Liverpool, but against the Aston Villas, against the Brightons, in which we haven't been able to be consistent in, and Everton as well. Yeah,
which is huge, because I'm sorry, like, I feel like I can justify, I don't care how poor somebody is, a top 6 fixture will always throw out logic. You could face a top 6 team in the worst state that they're ever in, and they can turn up on the day. Why? 100%. Because there's a bit of pride involved in that, right? Yeah. When I'm facing the teams outside the top 6, I'm sorry, that's my 9 to 5. I gotta step up and perform. This isn't like a special meeting in which the head national guy is coming to review you, which is what I consider a top 6. Like, yeah, you want to do well, of course, but that doesn't affect your 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a really poor impression in like a major meeting, what you've done for the majority is what is going to be critiqued upon. Your consistency is going to be looked at that. And so, look, to do all those things, I was just more frustrated because it would have been fun to banter. Let's just call it what it is. Half of fan experience is being able to say my team's better than yours. Haha. That's not really special analysis, but that's what it is. And I think as far as the game goes, there's actually one person I really wanted to talk about, not to take over your hosting duties, good sir. But I have one thing to ask you, and that is William Saliba.
Oh my God.
That is, I have tried. I threw a somewhat controversial take.
Did you talk about him in the IR?
I did. Yeah. I did. And I threw a somewhat controversial take where I think he has been better than Gabriel this season.
I agree.
And it's not just in possession. I think he's been better defensively as well as a whole. And I think that, look, Gabriel has shown a level of consistency last year that Saliba hasn't defensively. But the things that Saliba's doing in the last 2-3 games, especially, and he's been doing all season as far as coming into midfield, mate, some of the things that he was doing to get us out of trouble in order to break through and carry into midfield. This was the Beckenbauer thing that I keep saying that he had to be and to take it to the next level. And I don't think people are realizing it. And I love that interview he took after Chelsea, and off the back of his huge contract that he deserved, by the way. He goes on and he's talking about how I'm tired of ending the season with nothing in my pockets.
Yeah.
And it's just, damn right is right, bro. And and it's like, he's going and he's changing it. And, I don't know if enough has been made how he got a bumper contract and his performances have improved. Everyone wants to sit there and talk about when, you get a big contract and performances dip. Saliba's has been absolutely unbelievable. And it's just, I don't think people are clocking the level that we're seeing from William Saliba this season.
I mean, firstly, we both agree to this. It's the classic Rio Ferdinand meme of, just appreciate both. And we absolutely will. We will appreciate both Saliba and Gabriel. They are ours and nobody else's. But if we're comparing the two, I've felt that Saliba has been better than Gabriel this season. I think Gabriel... The thing is, the moments that Gabriel has, and they're profound, they're massive for the team in terms of between both boxes, and how he can dictate the margins on that front. It is a lot more eye-catching, and also you think of the late winner against Newcastle, on the back of responding to adversity with the Walter Marder mistake initially, then the Bournemouth game as well, makes the mistake with the pass back to Evan Nilsson, then goes on to score. I think those moments in which Gabriel has taken that responsibility, which is something that he's always done since he's came to the club, and being able to respond in tough moments. I think that sometimes does give you, it's the highlight reels. Whereas I think if you look at what Saliba is doing in game on the board, I said last season was his best on the ball season at Arsenal.
Miles different this season.
This season he's gone to another level, and it's the way that he's able to kind of bait. He's going to go back and then he drives forward and then he plays it through. And then there was one really good moment in the second half in which he plays it through to Saka and he wins the foul. And he also nearly scores in the first half as well with that strike. He's fantastic. I said it 2 years ago. He's the most talented centre back I've seen play for Arsenal. Talent wise, it's undeniable. He can do everything. He can be anything he wants to be. Like Arteta says about the likes of Rice and Zubimendi. There are only two things I say about William Saliba. One, he should score more goals. I still think he should score more goals in set piece scenarios. And the other thing is William Saliba's biggest weakness is the fact that he knows he's better than everybody else.
Yeah, just about keeping himself engaged, ironically.
Absolutely. Yeah,
exactly. There's a game within a game, and I always reference the stupid documentary of Michael Jordan, but the best elite talents, these people that are just freaks, right? You have to keep them interested. And I know that's a bad thing to say, but it's just the truth. Like, they're so freakish and they're so good that they don't have to try to dominate 99.9% of the duels.
Yeah.
But when you want to ask for something more, it's like, well, I don't have to give any effort and I can just walk out with a 99. That's kind of the thing is, and you have to find a way to keep them intrigued. And you know what? There's just been a level of real big intensity from William Saliba. Another player to look at that I wanted to bring up was Martin Zubimendi.
Oh my God.
And
George, right, just quickly. So who were they were my top two performers
Yeah, me too.
I think you can make a case for either being man of the match. They were fantastic. Zubimendi's feel for the game in the final third is something else. I mean, it's been coming. It's been coming, right? Because if we look at some of his big actions this season in the final third, some of the eye-catching ones, you're thinking back to his goals against Nottingham Forest. You know, the second goal, how he arrives in the box and he gets on the end of that Trossard cross, heads it in. Against Sunderland, against Everton, he's got shots outside the box or just inside the box that have hit the bar or the post. Against Man City, he tests Donnarumma a couple of times. He just has this knack. And I think the left-footedness, I think, with Martin Zubimendi is something that needs to be spoken about more of. Because if we look at some of the moments this season, if you think back to Atletico Madrid, when he plays that ball over the top for Martinelli to go on the end of, and eventually Gyökeres scores, that comes from Martin Zubimendi initially with the left-footed ball over the top. If you think of Club Brugge with the left-footed cross into Noni Madueke for the back post, now that finish, my God.
Mate, the composure that you've got to be in order to finish that weak foot and to allow your opposition to bite and then take it around the outside, like, it's just, look, I'm going to say it. I said it when we signed. I said, please don't just look at him as a quarterback. There is huge Gundogan comparisons to be made with his ability to affect in the final third. I remember getting slammed. How could you say that? For Spain, he's a classic deep lying playmaker. I go, no. The way this guy interprets space and the way he's so brave to release passes and his ability to be calm in tight spaces and find the extra pass. Mate, how many times also when he breaks forward is he finding somebody on the complete opposite end of the pitch? Like, I'm finding myself, he's breaking through midfield, right? The play's on the left and he plays a ball out to Saka, who's completely unmarked. And he's the only one that does that consistently. Saka sometimes does it when he cuts inside, sometimes, but the invention there is just, it's too great. And so there's a lot of me has said, I think there's some stuff that he could show, by the way, receiving high up in the pockets. I am convinced that is something he could show. We have too many needs and he has too much stuff that he does behind the ball for us in build up. But if we ever got somebody that we trusted that could also anchor, Martin Zubimendi absolutely could play as a higher eight and receive in those pockets instead of just being the one to play through. I'm convinced.
No, I think there's a lot of potential there. I'm looking at both Rice and Zubimendi as players in which you need to get a certain number of goals every season because you're too good not to be able to contribute in the final third and hit numbers. Rice is doing it, Zubimendi's doing it this season. I think if you look at his goals in the Premier League so far, might be missing one actually, but I think he got two against Forest in the league, and one was a header, one was obviously that right foot finish. And now he's got a left-footed finish as well out of his 3 goals. So, yeah, he's got so much to give. I kind of wanted to kind of just expand a bit more on that Zubimendi point. And so me and James did the rewatch, which will be out tomorrow, I believe. And I kind of wanted to focus a little bit more on some of our intentions against Chelsea because I found it a really weird game, George, because I didn't think it was a game which is the perfect type of Mikel game because I didn't feel in which there was a period in the game in which we sustained pressure and kept Chelsea pinned back for prolonged periods and just had the ball in the final third. I thought what it was Arsenal having a lot of the play very much in Chelsea's build-up with Chelsea on the ball and us looking to provoke the pass inside to try and nip in front and then win the ball back. So this is what we were doing. And this is why I think you will see Chelsea's numbers from a possession standpoint be bigger than Arsenal's. And this was very profound in the first half in which we're constantly getting into these situations where Robert Sanchez is on the ball. And this is our pressing structure. So obviously we don't know much about Liam Rosenior since he's came because this is his first game at Chelsea at home. So there's an element of the unknown. And I think Arsenal would have done the research at his time at Strasbourg, but I was interested to see how they set up. And they very much set up with this box midfield where João Pedro was between the lines in the pocket.
Finding space behind Rice and Zubimendi.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got Esteval here as well coming in the pocket. And as teams do, the goalkeeper and Sanchez, when the team presses with 2, the centre-back split a little bit wider to give them that overload potentially and to allow them to play past that front line. But what we were doing in a manner in which we've done many times in previous seasons is have Declan Rice stand in between the 2. So then when Ødegaard starts here, so he starts on Enzo, and the ball comes to Sanchez, and then Gyökeres will start his pressure. And then once the ball goes to Fofana, Ødegaard then jumps. And now it's very much Rice looking to cover the two. And he's left himself underloaded. That is by design. We believe that we can give you that extra man in build-up.
Because you can take it.
If you can take it. And the benefit that we will have is that further back at the back line, we've got the overload there. If you look at Esteval there, you got a 4v3 for us in that scenario. So what was happening is he'd go back to Sanchez, and Sanchez would be brave. He'd try and play it centrally, and Rice on many occasions he nipped in front. There was one moment where he almost got into to Santos, but Santos does well to just get away. But the other thing, and this is where I go back to the Zubimendi point, is when he played that ball into João Pedro. This is where I think, the Jorginho comparisons to Zubimendi, I think were rather unfair, because Zubimendi, the way he backs up the pressure, the way he's able to press on to Pedro and win the ball back a number of times, I think that is something that he adds so much to this team in terms of being able to back it up. And that's something in which, Zubimendi, when he came to the club, I don't think a lot of people expected. And that's why I do feel like the Jorginho comparison wasn't as accurate.
Could you bring that up? I had one critique point. Me as a coach, okay? So the one thing, I completely agree with your analysis. The problem is I do feel that Rice's demand, whilst he's probably the only one in world football that can do it, he did at times get outnumbered. And it was because he was covering two people. Yeah. My one annoyance as a result of that was, why couldn't Trossard cheat inside, Timber go outside, Gabriel get onto Esteval, and let Saliba man mark you? My one annoyance is, I understand you want the free man, because what we wanted was Saliba to have the freedom as a sweeper to decide when to vacate or when not to, without the responsibility of man marking. But Saliba and Gabriel can do those jobs at the same time. Like, we're talking how Rice is really unique in being able to mark two people. I think Saliba and Gabriel are uniquely able to man mark, but also decide when to press and not to, because they've got the recovery speed to do so. And my only annoyance was everybody was man-to-man bar Saliba, and he was zonal, and he was deciding when to go, but it was resulting in Chelsea being able to play through in moments. And I think we could have done a bit better. Like, Trossard could have cheated to stop the Santos entry, let Timber mark up on Achimpong, and let Gabriel mark out Esteval, because even if it's a ball over the top, I'm sorry, mate, Gabriel and Esteval, Gabriel's winning that. And Saliba can go on to mark you, who I thought was much less in control receiving from pressure from behind. Like, I would have been more worried with João Pedro, but no problem, you've got Zubimendi on there. And this, to me, is a much more concrete, and let Ødegaard be the free drifter, not Saliba. The problem was we now had a drifter in attack as well as a drifter in defense. And to me, it cost us moments in transition, and the idea that they were finding space behind Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice. So that was probably my only critique from a coaching perspective in the press that I felt like we could have done.
And I feel like so I think it's the case, maybe to kind of throw it back. I think, that bait to try and play it centrally. And you are right, they did play through us a couple of times. And maybe that was the trade-off Mikel was looking for, because he felt, I want to provoke them to play inside, which we've done against Aston Villa as well. And we won it back a number of times, and that's key to the Zubimendi goal, the second in that game. But as always, there is the trade-off there, in which, if you do get played through, then they're starting to attack in open space. And this is where I think sometimes when you're looking back at the game and there were spaces in which Chelsea were just attacking onto our backline, that's part and parcel of what happens there when you get beaten in that initial pressure. That's not, where's the midfielders? No, it's by design, because we were looking to try and provoke something, and we weren't able to get there in certain moments. And that's where Chelsea were able to attack in open space. I think with this sort of structure that you're alluding to here, where it's very much 1v1 across the entire pitch, what happens then is it becomes more of a long ball game, doesn't it? Because Sanchez is going to go long, and we back our players at the back to be able to win those situations.
But I'm okay making that concession when it's Esteval, Guiu, and Neto. They're all not more than 5'8". And we've got White, Saliba, Gabriel. If it's an aerial game, I'm winning that as a front three. And I think, look, I want to be fair. I know what Mikel's doing. Mikel didn't want Esteval controlling. This was completely for the purpose of funneling. If we lost in the press, it would be through the left, not their right. Because if we lost through the right, it would be Esteval breaking through versus João Pedro. And João Pedro just makes worse decisions. So he was like, let me sacrifice the press so that if we lose through João Pedro's side. We don't lose with someone breaking down Estevao who can basically release their most dangerous player. That was the concession, in my opinion. I'm not in his head, but I think that's why.
No, I think that's
my point is, who cares? Like, Estevao is going to get a chance to break, but I'd rather him have a foot race with Gabriel than I would with Timber, because I probably had more faith in Josh Acheampong than I think Mikel did, if I'm really being honest with you. I felt like Josh Acheampong, I've said so long, is a unique athlete. And to me, I really want to buy him. But I felt like he could give a lot of the power. Reece James lost it. He didn't have the experience. They also didn't trust him to be in midfield as much as Reece James did. But I knew athletically, Josh Acheampong has the ability with his long legs to be defensively a problem, but also breaking forward. And to be fair, I felt like just that threat, while the players were playing, was enough to give Santos enough space to break through at times. Yeah. And that was the only thing. But I mean, look, I'm talking from hindsight, and I do agree. Between the pivot, who do you isolate? Enzo all day long. Pressure that boy. He absolutely athletically is not the same as Santos and Acheampong down the right. So again, Chelsea's right athletically were completely different to the left. Right? Yeah. You're looking at Neto, Enzo, Cucurella. Those aren't strong runners. Yeah. Compare that with Santos, Acheampong, Estevao. Completely different. Yeah. So I understand the logic. I just wish we would have adapted a bit more, where we were getting broken through, and it's like, okay, you know what? Screw it. Let's make a tweak. Let's go man to man, fully in the back. And I'd back us. I'd back us to do it.
Yeah. I also feel like Mikel would completely back us, because we're doing that against the likes of Bayern Munich. When we played Bayern Munich, it was 1v1 across the entire pitch. You see Saliba and Mascara follow Kane all the way in, and every player is marked. And we were fantastic. And that's against a Bayern Munich team that is physically fantastic, and it's a physically more superior team than this Chelsea side. And this is what I think with the press is...
to build on the press, because, let me prompt some stuff. Does that change, as much as we love Timber, and I was calling for it, I'm just trying to look at the profile of a Timber. You know how you talked about how 1v1 encourages a long ball game and aerially. Does that change with Calafiori? Do you as a coach just become a lot more comfortable with that type of game, where I think Timber in isolated 1v1s, as well as Gabriel, is much better? But aerially, what's the aerial impact of forcing a long game? And regardless, Calafiori, Mascara, you're talking about two people that have the legs to compete and out physically match anybody. And there could just be a question with Timber, even though we associate him as our best defensive fullback and our best 1v1 specialist. I just wonder if the aerial game, these things are what held Mikel back, because he showed against Bayern to be more man-to-man. He showed he could be more aggressive.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point. And I think with Calafiori, I mean, when we talk about the long ball in behind, he's had that on lock this season in terms of being able to judge it right and get there first. Arsenal, naturally, in how they pressure, if it's a side that they're looking to funnel a team towards, it's down our right hand side. Yeah, the space is always going to be on the far side, because we're looking to squeeze. So if the space on the far side, and they manage to then play around our pressure as we're trying to lock them in, but we aren't able to lock them in, the far side switches on. And Calafiori many times this season has been able to get across and be able to meet it first and get there, whilst him obviously having to narrow as well, because you as a whole team, if you're funneling a team towards one side, it's our right-hand side, then everybody has to come across, because you want to squeeze the pitch. Anybody who's been to a game will know how big a football pitch is. It's massive. So you have to have a trade-off of what spaces you want to prioritize and what spaces you're gonna relinquish. And I think Calafiori's done really well to get across. So maybe there is something there. That's
sorry to get super nerdy and hijack the segment. Hopefully everybody follows there.
This is what you get. This is I've said it's Rohan and George, so this is what you're gonna get. But we'll try and temper it at times for sure. Reinders saying they're confident they'll catch Arsenal. They are coming. Come on then. Come on. We're ready.
Yeah. Reinders' runway isn't very long, so let's put it that way. I'm not worried. Come.
Maybe final closing thoughts on the game and the Carabao Cup in general. So obviously, Man City, I was surprised that they managed to get a 2-goal lead at St. James's Park. I thought Newcastle would walk away with something in the first leg. I felt Man City would go for it. But now they're definitely going to be in the final. You know, they're really good at the Etihad. Newcastle are horrific away.
So are we, by the way, at the Emirates. Have you clocked our home record?
We're better. We're better than Man City. So Man City recently they've dropped to. So actually, Man City before the games against Chelsea and Brighton were phenomenal at home. I think they'd only lost to Spurs in the league. They'd only dropped points to Spurs, and obviously they've dropped points in the last 2 games. We are sensational at home. We've dropped
on it, Rohan. All I hear is fear going to the Etihad. Why the hell are people saying not fear the Emirates? Do people just not realize? Please speak on the record for like 30 seconds, please.
So, I mean, we'll get to the Etihad right in a sec, because me and Alex, I think it was a few TCP lives ago, where he asked me the question of something that could happen in the season, something spicy. So at the Etihad, right, I reckon Mikel and Pep, they're going to get head to head. They're going to be, there's going to be a little bit of argy-bargy, bit of argy-bargy, bit of a rough and tumble with a touchdown. There might be a challenging game. So someone's gone in with a cruncher, absolutely nailed someone. And I feel like Pep's not going to be happy with it. And Arteta's like, what are you on about? What are you chatting? And then they go head to head, loggerheads. And there's a little bit of a tussle before they're separated. And then maybe Mikel throws a punch. No. I want something like that to happen. I really want something like that to happen. I need some, because let's be honest, right? Liverpool, Man City, obviously they had
way
very
too nice.
They're very intense title races. There was no malice. There was no.
Give me bite. And you know what? Honestly, I think Arsenal. Look, mate, we have a history of it. Like every time we've been in a title race, it's not been good. It's been bad blood. United, Chelsea, like there's good.
There's something to it, because Arsenal are not liked, George.
No,
Arsenal are not liked. You know, and they are the biggest club in London.
But Rohan, why do people reference the Etihad as this just guaranteed banker, and they don't say the Emirates is the same? Like carry some back. I'm so Arsenal fans. I'm speaking directly to you now. I know it's really difficult at times, and we struggle because people have told you how shit you are for the last 5-7 years. We have a team to be proud of. I'm going to repeat that. We have a team to be proud of. Our record, factually, is better than the Etihad. Factually. And you know what? There's a comment here. Yeah, respect our damn fortress. We have a fortress. Get your back up. Start having confidence. It's not arrogance when you can prove it. It's not arrogance when you factually have the points on the board and on the table to prove what you're doing. There's stuff that we can critique. We're not perfect in every other aspect, but to sit there and be afraid of the Etihad performance and not sit there and say, well, they better damn well be afraid of the Emirates. Everybody should be afraid of the Emirates, especially when we've sat there and we've completed most of our hard away day fixtures. Like, where in the world are people not sitting there with some chest in the second half of the season, knowing our Emirates record and how many games left at home we have? Come on. I'm sorry. I'm tired of this humble brag. Oh, we got to be humble before we win it. No, I'm sorry. You want Bukayo Saka to be a killer? You want Martinelli and everyone to be a killer? Us as fans need to be killers. And sorry, that's my only rant. Have some back.
Oosh. That's it. That's all we need. What are they going to do? They're going to start singing Blue Moon, Blue Moon. Get out of here, Blue Moon. Yeah, we're coming for. All I want at the Etihad is us to have our team. Have our team, no refereeing nonsense. And let the better man win. And I back my boys. I back my boys to do it. And I want it. I want a juicy win at the Etihad. It's been too long, right? One thing I'll say about Mikel, and the change in fortunes in terms of our record against the so-called Big Six. It's fantastic, right? We've not beaten Liverpool at Anfield. We've not beaten Man City at the Etihad yet. We've taken points out of those teams, which is a massive difference to under Mikel and under Emery. But I want to win now. I want to win in the league at the Etihad. That's what I want. I don't want any nonsense from the referees like last season where Trossard kicks the ball after a nanosecond after he blows his whistle. Yeah, I need my team, and I just want to.
Rohan, do you mind putting up and finding our Arsenal fixtures? I need us to speak on this a
let's
bit,
do it.
okay? Because you know what? Honestly, I'm tired. I'm tired of people lacking respect for their own team. So let's have a little bit of a conversation, okay? Because look, again, not everything we do is perfect, but let's just talk some facts right now. We have yet to lose at home since May.
Yep.
Okay? Let's pull up our fixtures. And in the context of Man City's next 5 games, let's go through. We've got Forest, we've got United, we've got Leeds. And who's next after Leeds?
After Leeds, we've got Chelsea. Well, in the league? Yeah, Sunderland.
Yeah.
We've got Sunderland at home. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, let's just look at our next 5 fixtures here. Explain to me how the current gap is what, Rohan? The current gap is 6 points. Am I right about that?
Yep, the current gap is 6 points, my friend, with a cheeky +2 goal difference advantage.
Cheeky +2,
I think.
And these are Man City's next 5 games: Wolves, United, Spurs.
Oh no, it's not. It's level. It's level, right? The goal difference. My bad.
Oh, okay. Still 6 points, right?
Yeah.
And these are City's next 5 games, and our next 5 games are Forest, United, Leeds, Sunderland. Come on. This is where the title's going to be decided, not the Etihad. I'm with you that I want it for how I feel, but this is exactly to tie home my point about outside the top 6 is what wins you titles. Banter is what is important in top 6, but not that. Have a look at this. This is where City can falter and we can gain points on massively. Massive points. These are teams that are poor. And we've got to get out there, and they have a tough schedule. Mate, if the distance goes to 10 or more, are you really saying that you're going to be worried about the title?
Mate, if they right, so Manchester United, Manchester United are a disgrace of an organization. They're absolute bombs.
They always
however, right, Michael Carrick's first game, Old Trafford, a bit of United. A little bit of that. You never know. Honestly, you never know. I've seen stranger things. Football is not always played on paper. Football is not always won by the better team.
Yeah.
I could see something happening there. I genuinely could, because it's a new manager, obviously on an interim basis.
Yep.
He's been there before, obviously, on an interim basis. But and Man City, the back line as well. Boy.
But
I don't know. And they got Mbeumo back as well. Mbeumo's back, so
I am telling you, and I'll go this strong. I will be very frustrated if we don't kill the so-called title race here. This to me represents United is a potential to drop points. Spurs, a potential to drop points, who they haven't played well against. Liverpool, Fulham at home is a very difficult fixture as well, in terms of a very physical mid-block. We already have a 6-point gap. I'm telling you, you get the point gap to 10 or 11 points. That is a serious gap, mate. Like, people say those titles are over. And for us, I would say Forest is a very difficult fixture. I always say United is a difficult fixture. Yeah. Sunderland now is a difficult fixture given who they are and what they've represented in the league. But let's just have it right. They are a team on the equivalent of Fulham. And we're looking at it here. We don't have the same schedule as they do. Now, this doesn't continue. I think it starts to level out after these next 5 games. City end up having a little bit of a break. And then there's a period in April in which we have a difficult run. I think it's City, and then we have Newcastle or something like that. There's like a week in which we have a difficult fixture. This is where we need to add and get it to 10 points. These next 5 games is important for me. And I think we will look back on the parade and say, yeah, this was the point. When we pulled away in the next 5 points, 5 games, I'm telling you, it was here. It was here if we do it. That's what it is. That's why it's so important. It is so, so bloody important.
Oh, man, I tell you what. Chat, what are we thinking? Am I being deluded here? Man United could win on Saturday afternoon.
Of course they could win.
Could they win?
How was their record against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Pep?
Yeah, that's true. But Michael Carrick, though, George, Michael Carrick, has he got something for us?
Mate, it is what I said. Spurs are the dirt under our boot, and they still give us games and derbies. It doesn't make sense, but it's a rival. That's why I sit there and I'm like, you can never be calm with that. He 100% has something for them. And you know what? I just want us to get a little bit of arrogance, because we can't sit there and expect the players to do it if you as fans don't sit there with some checks.
Yeah.
And we're good enough to do this. We've done the whole humble thing. I'm sick and tired of it. Get out there and become killers. And they've got it in them. And I just think that there's a huge opportunity for us to push on, mate. Huge. These next 5 games for me, I had, how I always speak how the season's in blocks, right?
Yeah.
There were certain blocks that this team needed to prove to me as an Arsenal fan to give them the confidence I'm giving now. They've achieved it. They've beat the physical mid blocks. They've addressed central progression this season in a way that they haven't done in previous seasons. We sat there with a squad being able to ride injuries like it's been nothing. We have done the things that have absolutely killed our title challenges in previous years. Now I'm starting to look at things and I'm like, you need to get points when your rivals drop. We did it. We killed them twice in the same week. That was a huge swing, a huge narrative swing in the race. This one is another swing. We can do the exact same thing and find 2 or 3 fixtures in the next 5 or 6 games in which Man City are potentially likely to drop points. And mate, we do that.
They are definitely dropping points in the next 5, right? They will definitely drop points. So that's not the question for me. Question of this game week, can I get that? Can I get that lead to 9? Am I being greedy right now? Forest will be difficult.
Forest, I'm nervous about, because I think United's and it's the 4th away game.
So it'll be the 3rd away game, and then the 4th will be insert. Yeah, but it's the 3rd away game on the bounce, right? So it's a 5:30 kickoff as well.
If there was I'm going to be a little bit hypocritical. If there was a time for me to rotate, Mikel will never do this, by the way, never. I would rotate Inter. I would sacrifice it for the momentum, because we are already first. Yeah. It's a game in which I feel Inter is one of those, they don't have a huge athletic potential. It's going to be an Atletico Madrid of old type of game, a really crappy game, but not one in which people are running. So the fear on it, I'm not afraid. Forest will be a basketball game. Forest will be a running game potentially. Yeah. And it's against a Dice side who has come under criticism, but Forest have athletes that will always give somebody a game if they decide to run. And it's probably the only time that I'd push a rotation. I didn't want rotation versus Chelsea. I wanted us to take it seriously because I wanted to kill it in the first leg. But I can't sit there and have 3 back-to-back intense running games, So I'm like, for me, the momentum in the Premier League title race is now. It's not in April. These next 5 games, like, look where your rivals are likely to drop points. Focus on that. Not your head-to-head matchups. Those are important, but that's coming down the line. Yeah. And that's coming in the most busiest part of the season. Focus now. So when you're doing it and you're doing these games of questions, for me, look, high rate, absolutely, you can rest. There's Leeds. I'm sorry. I could rest in Leeds. Those are back-to-back games you could rest. If there's a question, Inter's the one that you do it, mate. You make sure you get your Premier League points right now.
If there's a game, it has to be Inter to rotate, because, like I said, there's nothing on the line in that game apart from obviously, securing first place, which is very important. But we can still do that. While we can get a result against Inter whilst rotating. We can do it. That's
make it an ugly game. I don't care.
Yeah.
I got a title to win.
I need this Premier League so badly.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I completely agree with that. And also, I think if we look at the past week, so looking at Saka in particular, he's not played all 3 games over a week.
No,
he's not started all 3 games. So we had it when we played against Brentford. Noni came in that game. We had it against Club Brugge. Noni came in that game. We had it against Palace in the Cup. Noni came in that game. Against Bournemouth. Mate. Yeah,
Noni Inter. That is the perfect thing. Let Bukayo somehow get us through Forest. That's a perfect example of us shielding people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Noni, Gyökeres. I think there could be actually a question as far as Martinelli and Trossard, because I think Martinelli's in form. I said it in the IR. Another really good performance.
Yeah, he looked good when he came on.
Mate, he's looked good for the last couple games. It wasn't just the hat trick. The one before that, like he has been very good in the last 3 games. Like we got to start feeding him. And I look at it, and Mikel Merino is another one from the bench that has been really good off the back of 2 or 3 games. Yep. Feed the form, okay? Gyökeres got something. Okay, brilliant. But Kai and Jesus, I'm really happy they're back. But you got to feed the foreign players within this, and you got to somehow start to decide and pick certain games. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing for me. I look at Inter and Kairat as like brilliant rotations. Heck, you could even do Leeds. I don't think you need to be at your best to beat Leeds, respectfully. But still, if we can get through the next 2 games, mate, like that's the stress.
That's massive. I'll just quickly go to this super chat. Thank you so much. Simple Game Life, always here. Thank you for your support. Facts, George, the fans, players, and staff have to have that arrogance in them that we can beat anybody on our day. This ain't 22-23 where we are 1 injury away from a collapse. And I think that's the salient point, in terms of the injuries, right? If we look at 22-23, we talk so much about that first, set of fixtures, the first half of the season, 50 points after 20 games, I believe it is, 19 games, right? And it was brilliant. But this team right now is on course to surpass the point tally at this stage than 22-23. I think if we beat Forest, we have surpassed or we've equaled the start that we had in 22-23 to this season. And that is with also the injuries that we've had to experience throughout the season. This team has got levels to go. That's what I'm really excited by. I think we've got so many more gears to go. And I completely agree in terms of the fans, players, and stuff. We have to have that arrogance, and the Emirates is a key one because it is our fortress, and we are head and shoulders above anybody else in the league at home, with Man City there just behind us. So, completely agree.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here, quick question for you in terms of how we weighed the next little bit going. I'm looking at Inter. How would you rotate this? Do you want to build maybe a really quick 11 on your Inter and your
we'll have a look.
And your Forest?
Of course, we'll have a look. Firstly, though, what award? Let's do the thumbnail first, because Forda, as always, the talented Forda, the genius that is Forda. The legend that is Forda. Right. So. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
This
is great.
Who is that? Who is that guy there?
Is that Liam?
Is that Liam? That's definitely Liam. Yeah, he's cooked.
Am I right with that?
I think it might be Liam. Is that Liam? Might need to get my glasses. Oh, I've got my glasses on.
I think that's Leo.
Oh my god, no! It's quality again.
Do you know what it is? Okay, I don't think it's the best one I've seen. It's one of the most creative ones he's done here, and that's why I'm giving this a 9.5 for me. Just for creativity. Agree. There's a story involved here.
Forda's done elite ones. I think this is a top one, but it's not Forda's best. But Forda. This
is one of the best creative ones he's come up with. It's just, it's so
where is
good.
The hidden Rohan?
The hidden Rohan.
I don't like to say my own name. Actually, that sounds weird.
Yeah, I love those, but honestly, I can't see because I'm operating on such a small laptop here. I have no clue. I can't. Is it by the little dragon that's there?
Oh, is it? Is that it? There?
I don't know.
Oh god, am I seeing things now? Or...
I think so. No, I could be seeing things too. I don't think it's there. I don't know. Those in the comments. You guys let us know if you can find the little Rohan.
I'm sure that's it. It's on there. Is it not?
That's what I thought.
Something's there. I see something there. I'm gonna assume it's there.
I think it's just a saddle though, maybe.
Oh yeah. That's made me a bit sad, actually.
We're
looking for a hidden Rohan. There's no hidden Rohan. So
where do you rank this in his overall stuff?
8 out of 10. I'm a harsh critic. I'm a very harsh critic.
I love that. How to Train Your Dragon is a really brilliant creative choice there. I really like that.
And I think it's a decent film as well. Not bad.
Very good film.
Yeah. I'm very into that. So
I would argue that's probably the best modern. Here we go. Okay, this is controversial. I think that children's films have fallen off a cliff generally. How to Train Your Dragon is the only one that can stand up to your Toy Stories, Bugs Life, those real big ones, the Lion Kings. It's the only modern one.
Yeah.
People want to do Wall-E and Up, and I'm like,
get out of here, Wall-E. Wally's awful. Wally's rubbish.
No. So I think How to Train Your Dragon is up there.
Yeah.
It could compete. I don't know if it's winning. It's not on the Mount Rushmore, but it competes.
Yeah. Right. We will park that for 2 minutes because Hand of Arsenal is here. Right, guys. When do we think Mascara, Callum, and Cappy return? Nobody cares what I think about this. George thinks. When do they come back, Hand of Arsenal? You tell us. You tell us. I ain't got a clue.
I think Mascara is close. I don't know. If it's not this weekend, it's like Monday. Like, I think Mascara is on the brink. He's dazed for me. Calafiori, I said United around there was the targeted return for me. Hincapié, I don't know. I haven't heard too much about what the injury could be. So it's really tough for me to give a timeline on that.
Yeah.
I would say first week of Feb.
And
at the end of it, something like that.
He's leaving us with, let's not trust this gaffer. Yeah, I don't trust.
Yeah,
I don't. Not gonna lie, I listened to all of Mikel's press conferences. I just skipped past the bit where he talks about injuries. Like, he's not gonna tell me anything. Just let me just skip past that bit, and then I'll go to the actual nitty gritty. And I like Art Diroshi's questions. They're the ones that get me going. Not some of them. Some of the questions are absolutely rubbish. It's like, happy that you won the game last night. No, I'm distraught. I'm so sad. Like, you have a chance to ask some good questions, and you ask stuff like that. Goodness.
Oh
right,
man,
quickly.
We can't all be Art Deroche. That's about it.
Quickly back onto the children films. Right. So I'm a massive Disney fan. Although I've not watched a film for ages. I don't have the time to watch a film. But in terms of Disney, although Toy Story was Pixar. It was. Yeah, Toy Story was Pixar. But Disney, I'm looking at Jungle Book. Jungle Book was elite. Absolutely elite. I wasn't too keen on Lion King.
Shut up.
Yeah, I did not like Lion King.
Oh, you've had a mare. Lion King?
It's not like Lion King, no.
Bro, that's on the Mount Rushmore. The amount of time. Oh my God. No, Lion King was elite.
Just got a bit bored of Lion King.
You got bored in Lion King? We're talking about like one of the ultimate deaths
Look,
from a father. We're talking Macbeth for children. We are talking. Oh my God! For me, Lion King was unreal.
I'm trying to think of I've watched so many Disney films over the years. Like, yeah, I really liked Princess and the Frog. That was really good.
Oh, that's an out there. I've seen it, but I think that's kind of mid.
Ratatouille's good.
Ratatouille's good.
Yeah,
Ratatouille's good. Mulan was great.
Oh, Mulan, that's the one. That's the one I was thinking of. What
Mulan's great.
The soundtrack in that as well. Oh, so good. So
you know what? I've got it. Yeah. I've got something that's a modern one that's pretty good. Madagascar. That was good.
Now you're cooking. Madagascar and The
Incredibles is a shout.
Not number two. Number one. Number one was very good.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda. Oh, now
that's a really good one. Okay,
these are better than Lion King. These are better than Lion King.
Oh, shut up! I have to move you. No chance. No. Okay, you know what? Build your most modern Mount Rushmore of children's movies. You get
modern.
Yeah, modern. So I would say anything past we're talking anything past 2000 and maybe 2002 or something. Okay, so I would be for example, How to Train Your Dragons, I think is one. Absolutely.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I think it's one of the best modern ones. I think, when was Ratatouille made? It was later too, no?
It was definitely post 2000. Definitely.
Okay, so I put Ratatouille, How to Train Your Dragon, The Incredibles.
I feel like we're missing many though. I feel like we're missing some brilliant ones. I feel like I'm gonna come out of this and I'm gonna be. I don't care about the football stuff. I think we're cooking. This I'm a bit concerned right now. I feel like I'm missing some. Zootopia. Yes, that's.
I've never seen it.
Simple game life. Though. Thank you again for your super chat. Caroline is a good shout. I've not seen that. I've not even.
What is Caroline?
Is that a Disney film? Am I being
Finding Nemo.
Oh, now we're talking. Do you know what? Boss Baby was low key cooking. I thought that was good.
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, Boss Baby was good. Shrek, yeah, Shrek was good. Monsters Inc. Yes, of course.
Monsters Inc.'s a classic. That's an old one, though. I think that's an old one. Would you?
Yeah,
that's an old one. I'd put that like.
Oh, I've got it. My favorite one. It came here. It's came into my head. Tarzan. It's the best. It's the go-to. It's the best.
You love the soundtrack.
I'm not hearing anything. Tarzan's the best. You cannot beat Phil Collins in the soundtrack. You can't. It is the best. End of story. Tarzan is the best with Clayton. It has to be.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of love for Cars, and you know what? I do agree. I think Cars was great. Cars was a really good one. Cars was unique too. Cars was pretty modern as well. I'd have Cars there. I liked Cars. Yeah.
Cars was good. Big Hero 6. Yeah, Big Hero 6 was good.
I don't think I saw that one. I can't say.
That was the one with the robots, wasn't it? It was the robots. I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't Big Hero 6 like that looked like a balloon or like a Michelin? I just remember that as like the wasn't it?
I don't think so.
You know what?
Here, the Spider-Verse movies were good. The Spider-Verse.
Oh, but that's not chill. I don't know. I consider that like action heroes. You know what I mean? Like, that's above what we're talking.
That's not Disney as well. That's not Disney, is it?
I don't know. Look, they're goated. Those movies are unreal. But like, that's a teenager movie to me. Okay, you know what? I might be showing my age. Okay, you ready? The Land Before Time was is that something that have you heard about that?
I have heard of that. Was that? No, I think I'm getting mixed up. Was that is there dinosaurs in that?
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's dinosaurs.
That was goated as a children's thing. Oh my god. The Land Before Time. That is just one of the best franchises. Crazy.
Really, George? I feel it was boring.
I loved it. Was it? Oh my god, boring. I loved it. Oh my god.
I'll tell you what, though. I think you're getting some love with Adventures of Tintin. That was a bit boring, though, I think.
Oh, that is a old one, eh?
Adventures of Tintin. Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I'll be honest. Such a classic. I was a Winnie the Pooh. Apparently, I freaking was in love with Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, I hated Winnie the Pooh. Oh my!
I don't know how. I was in love with it for some reason. I think that's like infant. I don't know. I can't even say to that. I don't know if I was good yet. Iron Giant's a shout. You know when I was
seen that.
Oh, watch it right now. You will love it. As an adult, it will make you cry. Iron Giant is class. Josh, I'm with you. That's great.
I've loved this chat. This is a bit of me. And I'm telling you now, Tarzan is the best. It's the best.
No, you've had a mare.
The end scene with Clayton. Oh my god, that was sad when the gorillas. Kershak. Yeah, Kershak dies. Oh, that was sad. That was very sad. Anyway, back to the football, right? And we did want to talk about transfers before we take your questions and we do predictions, right? So, George, transfers, as always, you're the main man. Anthony Gordon links. You and Alex did do a scouted blog last year on Anthony Gordon. And I actually think that scouted will be applicable now because I don't think Anthony Gordon has necessarily taken that next leap on the Newcastle. I feel he has stagnated in the past 2 years. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the Gordon links? And then I think he wanted to spice things up as well with the Semenyo chat. So I'm going to let you add.
Yeah, okay, let me frame this, okay? Because part of the problem is we did a scouted on Gordon, and I think Gordon has excellent potential, okay? It's going to be a real casual analysis from people that don't like Gordon because I'm sorry, I think he's got huge potential to be more of a Heung-min Sung than I think a lot of people realize. But the problem is he's got to tie it together as far as his decision making goes, and that's probably the biggest crux that you'd critique a young winger about, right? So for me, there's brilliant ball striking fundamentals there, an excellent ability to carry over large distances, an incredibly hard working forward. In his own way, for what we want Martinelli to be, which I don't think he is much better at the Martinelli winger role than most people in the market that you're going to find. My problem, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, Semenyo, when you have what has been rumored where he did contact Arsenal, there was a willingness to want to wait, and we just didn't want to do guarantees. I'm sorry, I don't think you can logic not waiting for Semenyo when Gordon is the alternative, where for me a very good player gets more stick than he deserves, and I'm telling you there's tons of things I think Gordon could absolutely spike in level, so let me be clear. But the problem is there's a lot of growth there. Yeah. And it's not the same guaranteed bang for your buck for the same amount of money that it would cost. You're still looking at £65 million to whisk Gordon away from Newcastle, probably more because they don't like us. So don't like us tax is probably another 5-10 mil. But why? Like, that to me makes zero sense. You're talking about you want a prime age in league option who loves lane 5 either side, is a hard worker and is able to generate his own shots. I'm sorry, like that description goes to Semenyo all day long, especially if the alternate is not cheaper, especially if the alternate is no less experienced, especially if the alternate is better now. Like, it's just the logic there is just wild to me. That's what I get really frustrated. Now, if you don't do a Semenyo and you decline, I'm sorry, Rohan. For me, the only reason you deny an option like that is for a Barcola, for a talent that you believe you can sit there and say will be world class. The only time that you skip out on a prime age, one of the best attackers in the league, hard worker, who's a fan of yours, who can work both sides and fills it in, the only time you do it is for a talent you think will absolutely be world class. Otherwise, Semenyo is better than 90% of the targets on the market. He's better than Yildiz for me. He, the Diamande shouts are something where I think.
Do you know much about him, George?
I do. There's physically probably no winger in world football that has his potential, the ceiling on it.
Oh, really? Who's he play for?
He plays for Leipzig. And he originally was actually playing in the States, and the rise that he did is absolutely unbelievable. Jan Diamande has probably some of the most frightening physical capacity. The sprint from a standstill is nuts. The way that he's able to carry over long distances is absolutely insane. But he is a bit more push and run right now than the technique forward. And he's just so much quicker, stronger, faster than everybody in the world that he uses that to his advantage a bit in the carries more than he does beating people with technique. It's more of a physical beating. And to me, like, that's exciting, but he's very raw. And his rise has been very quick. So, but you're paying almost 89 million pounds. Like, Leipzig will demand 100 million euros for him. And you're paying for something that he isn't a bit with it. I'm okay if you make that bet, because I do think he's the type of winger that will be world class. But it's the questions about Semenyo or Sesko. Are you paying for somebody who will be something for money now? That's superstar money now. I don't love doing that. I don't. I said it back then. I don't love doing it. So, but that's where I'm really frustrated, Rohan. I'm really frustrated when I hear some of these links, because the only time you deny a player like that was Semenyo, by the way. So what? He wants a guarantee that you'll go in? Yeah, we did that with Zubimendi. Don't tell me that Arsenal don't do guarantees. We did that with Zubimendi. Right?
No, I think that's a really fair point.
I don't know. That's where I'm at with it. I think there's only one or two players in world football that I would consider better than Semenyo, and Gordon's not one of them. Yeah. And he's a good player, but he's just not one of them.
I don't think Gordon will happen in the summer, but there is something with Mikel and previous targets. Gordon has been someone that Arsenal have been interested in for a very long time. So I don't agree with just disregarding the rumor. If it's a rumor, right, I still think that there are going to be links to Gordon, because we have been linked before. And Mikel Arteta has had a track record of signing players after we have not been able to sign them in previous summers. In Capier, we looked at him. David Raya, we looked at him. Zubimendi, we've been looking at him for a very long time. These are players in which we've wanted a lot earlier than when we actually got them. So I think there could be there. I think there could be something there too. I agree with you though on the Semenyo thing. I think for me, if there was the opportunity to get Semenyo, and then we go for Gordon. And I actually like Gordon. I think Gordon's a lot better than what his numbers are suggesting personally.
Me too.
But I feel like there's a difference there. Still feel there's a gap.
Okay, let me just put it this way. Even Semenyo, okay, there was a question a little bit earlier that talked about whether Semenyo was a ceiling raiser or a floor. He does both right now. And he raises our ceiling as a team this moment. And he absolutely raises the floor. And his long-term value is there, you know? In the 65 million pound bracket, let me just put it this way. There is nobody on the market that I believe more in than Semenyo. If you want to debate other names, you're talking about Yan Diamande, you're talking about Barcola, you're talking about Vinicius Jr., you're talking about all players that are in the 89 million pound bracket or more. Okay? If your goal was to recruit 2 forwards, one in the 65 million pound bracket, which is your Gordons, your Semenyos, your Yildezes, if you're talking about a versatile forward that's not your guarantee marquee, Semenyo beats that market all day long and walks in right now, arguably a marquee. He walks in as that. And I think the most frustrating thing that I got is in a market in which we've been so poor with attackers and guarantees, Semenyo's a guarantee to be good. As far as being elite, I don't think it's fair, but you want to be great, Semenyo will be great. Semenyo will be great for City. He's been great since he started there. He gave them exactly the things I feared that he would get. He would give us all the things I know would take us to a new level. The problem that I've got is not that we said no, but it's another example of me and you debating in another January window of us holding off with the promise of better. And we don't have a good track record of doing it. So I'm apprehensive and I'm hurt from the past. And I look at Semenyo and I go, that was a perfect player to guarantee success. And Arsenal in 6 years have had one or two arguably good attacking signings. One or two arguably good attacking signings.
Yeah.
And when you find a player on the market you can guarantee to be good for 65 million pounds, like, come on, bro. And even Rohan, if you guaranteed him that we would go back in the same way that you secure a pre-agreement like a Zubimendi, mate, he would have been 50 million pounds or 55 million pounds.
Yeah.
So look, we're not talking about buying now. It really puts pressure for me, Rohan. It does. Like, I look at the summer and I say, okay, the only reason I can justify not doing the Semenyo route is you're getting a Barcola. You're getting a Vinicius Jr. You're getting a Jamal Musiala. We're in those conversations. You can't, don't come to me with Yildiz. I love Diamante, but don't come to me with a world-class talent.
You're not a fan of Yildiz?
Not in that way. Yildiz, for me, is not a elite talent. I think he's a very good talent. Again, in a Semenyo mold, where he's the type of player that I think will function across the front line, more of a 10, be very functional, an upgraded Trossard, absolutely, but will never reach, for me, elite output. It will be a case of he'll be a very, very good player. And we need one of those, by the way. I'm not downplaying where I think we need 2 attackers. I want a functional attacker that I think will be very good. And you're questioning if he could be elite. And then we need an absolutely elite option. And to me, when I look at the strength of the squad, I would ironically love a second striker, false 9 type, that we move on from both Trossard and Jesus.
Krupi?
Krupi. You know exactly.
Right, so I asked George because I've not seen Yildiz play much. When it gets to the summer, that's when I'll watch the games. I'm not watching any games right now. And there's no time to be doing that. So I'm a bit, I'm not in the know and knowledgeable to talk about these players. But Krupi, every time I've seen him at Bournemouth, oh my God.
That's a star.
That looks like you're talking about a second striker, false 9 type who's dropping in and moving across the pitch, and his ball striking. He's finished.
I'm telling you, if you're just listen, Arsenal, listen to George. Barcola and Krupi are my dreams. That's the type. When I'm looking at second strikers, and I think a lot of people will suggest Julian Alvarez as far as he's that second striker profile, but I think that's expensive.
Very expensive.
It's an incredibly expensive signing.
Kroupy, how much did they pay for? How much they wasn't it like 70 million?
I swear he's going to be 89 million pounds. Alvarez, right?
Oh, look.
And
82 million reportedly. That's
there
how
you
much.
Go. So you're not selling for less than that, and that's not it, mate. Look, like I said, I really think that this attack needs two things, because what you have here, let me just be really simple. What you have in Kai Havertz, Gyökeres, who again I have my major concerns with, but you're not selling him in a year, Rohan. And as much as people want to talk about that, let's just talk for a moment. I really don't think you're selling in a year. That might be a conversation in 2027. I really don't think.
We've not done a big sale. Like we've not signed a player like an established player, someone which we know is going to be an integral part of our squad, and then sold them on in a year. We've not done that on the Mikel.
No, not at all. So you're looking at, as far as the channel running profile that is within a team, you've got Havertz.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you're going to see Havertz not signed again. And again, I don't think these guys are the ceiling of channel runners. But regardless, you've got it. So why the heck are you working to recruit, right? And you've got Marino, who I'm sorry, as a third choice in terms of that reference center forward is there. And I would re-sign. He's shown how useful he is, and I've changed on him quite a bit, to be honest.
Same, mate. Same. I've completely changed on him.
But that's 3 prime age strikers in the channel running profile. I'm sorry. What's left? Let's remove the redundancy. I'm sorry. I look at Martinelli, Rohan, and I'm saying, if you don't use that boy at center forward, why are we killing him as a career? I'm sorry. I will die on that hill. It's just where I stand. If you refuse to put him in central areas, there is stuff that we can do to work to improve on that. But to me, Jesus and Trossard, we lack that poppy second striker profile in this group. Ethan could do it. He could. It's an option. But I don't think I have a guaranteed second striker, versatile forward that likes to pop in and around the box. And Kroupy is somebody whose ball striking outside of the box is absolutely unbelievable. His ball striking mechanics, he is somebody that you can sit there and say, we have one of the best ball strikers in the world. So he solves a lot in that. Move on, Trossard and Jesus, and replace it with a Kroupy. You're going to be up. That makes a lot of sense to me. Then you need to have a true lane fight. And I'm sorry, if you weren't going to get Barcola, that's why I was like, get Semenyo. You're talking about Semenyo for 65 million pounds. That would have been 50 in the summer if you guaranteed. And then what would Kroupy have cost you next summer? 50 million pounds? 55?
So did they? Bournemouth signed him on a permanent?
I think they have. I think they've officially signed him. But mate, okay, given the amount of times that he's played so far this season,
they signed him for 10 to 13 million.
10 to 13. You're telling me if I rock up to Bournemouth this summer and I offer 50 to 55 million pounds, they're not biting?
Yeah.
With Semenyo, whose release clause was 50 million pounds? You're telling me, I'm sorry, I'm just going to go on this rant. You're telling me I don't go 115 million pounds gets you Kroupy and Semenyo. And you're telling me that's unreasonable as far as
it's not unreasonable. Not unreasonable at all.
And that completes us as a team, prime age, Premier League proven, all the things that you want to say. And then let's clean up, It frustrates me, mate. It does. I feel like there's a lot of things that Arsenal do well. This forward recruitment is something that people have valid concerns with. And I don't buy that there's players that wouldn't make us better. Like I look at those two deals in particular, and you can always change it up. I think, for example, there's other players that I really like. I'll put you on a name, Bahoya at Frankfurt. Everybody, this is the mini Barcola.
What's his name? Bahoya.
Bahoya.
Goodness me, I butchered that one.
He plays for Frankfurt. He is going to be a serious player, guys. This is the mini Barcola. He is more technical than Barcola. Not quite at the peak, but he's still got the fastest recorded speed in Bundesliga, by the way. In a straight sprint, he's very quick. It's just he's a little bit more technical.
How old is he?
I think he's 20. Elite crossing, absolutely elite crossing ability. So this is a talent that I think I would play with in the 50 million range that I really, really like. Again, That's the type of player I'm looking at as an upgrade on a Trossard on the left in profile. If I'm being fair, Yildiz probably competes for a similar profile. By the way, if you wanted like comparisons, we're talking about the young, creative first winger as opposed to really that physical breakthrough prospect. But I maintain we need a lane 5 guy and then a versatile guy. I don't care how you combine those two things. And I just don't see why walking up to Bournemouth with 115 million pounds wasn't logical to get both Krupi and Semenyo, and what that does for your attack. And, you know, it just solves so much. You remove Trossard, you remove Jesus, 2 players that are playing right now, and tell me with Semenyo and Krupi instead.
I mean, if we look at our squad makeup across the forward line, and you're looking about, we isolate it in terms of characteristics. On the right hand side, Noni Madueke is that touchline option. Mm-hmm. He is someone chalk on his boots, 1v1s against his fullback. He'll burn them time and time again.
Yep.
He gives you the ability to go over the top in terms of runs in behind the last line. We're sorted there on the right hand side, and you've got Saka who can do a bit of everything. On the left hand side, I completely agree. So if we look at the makeup so far, you've got Trossard, you've got Martinelli, and you've got Eze there through the left. They're all not players in which they're going to dominate the touchline. I think it would be very good for us to have that Noni Madueke option. I'm still very intrigued about Noni Madueke on the left hand side, but it's very clear he's best on the right. That's very clear. So we need someone on that side who can give us something different in the way that Madueke does, and being able to stretch teams in that manner. And I also think, there's some shouts for Morgan Rogers in the chat. Morgan Rogers is a brilliant player. I just don't see the reason why we'd go for Morgan Rogers when we sign Eze. I'd find that baffling, personally. I feel like we need something else. We need someone who is going to be that player, 1v1 qualitative superiority in terms of being able to go in and out from a stand start. I really want that.
Krupi is somebody that also cheats left. He gives you everything that Jesus did. He's creatively a brilliant passer as well. His time at Lorient when he's dropping off, mate, like this is the perfect Jesus. You want Jesus pre-injury, you get Krupi.
Yeah.
Look, this window, I don't think you need Jacquet, by the way. If you're getting Gehi, you don't do that. I would replace that with Josh Acheampong. Or Livramento.
Coyote?
I like Coyote. I recommended him before. My problem is Coyote's a defensive first fullback with really great running power and ability, but question marks in the final third, and I have that in Timber. I want my next player to be a bit more attacking, have a bit more quality and attacking potential. If we make a move beyond,
do you see Josh Acheampong being able to give that thing?
Yeah.
Right.
His motor is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
and his crossing fundamentals. Did you see how often he would receive in wide areas, and he had a solution every time to find the pass inside? It was scary. It was very Ben White. He's very Ben White, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the player that I've always loved, I've loved him for a few years now. I love both of them. I said last year, I think the most exciting fullbacks on the scene as a pairing, outside of ours, you'd say, it's Livramento and Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall is quality, and Livramento is fantastic. The only thing with Livramento is he's going to cost an absolute fortune. There's concerns about the injuries.
This is my dream. If I had money, no option, or no problem, rather, as far as how I would allocate the funds, this is what it would be. And Acheampong only happens if Ben White's leaving. That's the only reason that switch happens.
Yeah, I think if Ben White is able to, my gut feeling is Ben White leaves this summer. That's my gut feeling.
Yeah, me too. And I hate it, and it's killing me because I don't think that we find the quality to replace him, by the way.
Yeah.
He's so
good.
He's so good. And to me, but I only have 3 signings that I want. I want 2 attackers and I want 3 potentially gone. I maintain Martinelli. If you tell me, George, it's never happening. If Mikel goes, it's never happening, sell Martinelli. I'm tired, and he's gonna bang elsewhere. I'm sorry, just accept it. If elsewhere he plays as center forward, he'll do well. But sell him. If you're not going to play him in that role, we don't get enough qualitative advantage with the role that we use him in right now. So I would be okay to move on from that. I do think Trossard, it's a brilliant time. This is the classic time. I'm not pushing him out the door, but it's a good time to move on from. But Jesus, you absolutely move on from.
Yeah.
So you tell him, if financially we don't have to sell Trossard, I'm not pushing him out. If we must sell Trossard and sell 3 to get 2, then I'll do it. No problem. And the only reason I'm no probleming it is because we've got Eze, who's more of a creative inside option.
This is it. So, like for me, you've got the creative inside option. I think we've got the playmaker type on lock for me on the left hand side. We have that, and then obviously if you're getting rid of a Jesus, which I think is something that's obvious, right? You do need that player who's going to give you that option in terms of being able to drop. And actually, it's a really good point in terms of Krupi, the bias that you can have.
Yeah,
the left hand side.
And you want one with that because Havertz has a bias to the right. So you definitely we want something that can offer that. And so, look, mate, like again, Achimpong is not a must here. That's only if Ben White leaves, by the way. But mate, that is absolutely fully a window we can do.
It's disgusting array of talent.
Disgusting.
I do think I think for me, right back, if Ben White is able to prove his fitness from now to the end of the season, I've got no issues with Ben White staying.
And I keep him. Yeah, mate, I'm with you.
And do you know what it is with Ben White, right? This is what annoys me. We know he's not the best 1v1 defender, right? So there's no point killing him about situations in which he gets beaten because we know that's who he is. But what he offers in the final third, how he arrives behind the last line, the timing of his movements coming in and out, and he does it in such a level of nonchalance as well that becomes quite difficult to defend against because you don't know what's going to be his next move. He's brilliant.
Hey, you know what? I go back and forth on this. The problem is the wage, and then as far as the contract extension, he'll be pushed into the 180 because he's already on 150. Okay. And he's going to represent somebody as he gets older. That's like a Jesus, in which the wages won't justify the time that he will get 2 to 3 years down the line. But as far as there being a consistent offensive presence in the Premier League, no, I'm sorry. There isn't somebody that's got enough of that. And, as much as I really love Achimpong, everyone's going to, all the comments are, we haven't seen enough of Achimpong. I'm telling you, people were telling me about this when I made the claim that Ben White's a right back. Do you remember what I was making, that I got all this kind of stick about it because he was a center back prior? There are a lot of things with that. I think that you could easily make the argument Ben White staying long term as far as his impact on the dressing room is a very good thing, especially in the context of no Gahey. The Gahey logic to me doesn't make sense. If Gahey comes in, you have to get rid of Ben White. There's no other way, in my opinion.
But the way he's signing gives me anxiety. I love the player as well. I'm just thinking, how is this all going to work?
I don't even want to address that part. But to me, mate, three signings is not a lot, Rohan.
No, it's
two
not.
Of which it's Krupi, who's like 19, 20, Buadi, who by the way is 18, 19, really elite prospect. Okay, Barcola's a marquee. It could push to 89 million pounds. It could push big, but we're due an attacking big spend. Why do we be an accountants in the one area and department of the pitch we've yet to recruit an elite signing in 7 years for?
Yeah,
Also,
the body of work that we did in the summer last year was massive, right? I feel like we've got ourselves into a position in which we don't need to buy loads of players unless we have a massive overhaul. Unless you have a massive overhaul of players who leave, which is not going to happen. That's when you start again having a summer like the one that we just had. The level of work and the volume of transactions that we did was huge. We don't need to do something like that this summer. It's all about incremental improvements in players who are going to be going out, which we know, but quite clear, and then adding that quality. And I can't. I look at Arsenal in sections. The goalkeeping department is fantastic. Obviously, Kepa's a very good backup. I still maintain he's a very good backup. Yes, he has his weaknesses, but he can play stylistically the way that Mikel wants.
We'll always have churn though there, mate. Like I think the second goalkeeper is one for me. Unless we buy a real big prospect that we love, like a 19-year-old stud from somewhere. That's the only way that it'll be a case that you'll keep them. Otherwise, it'll be every year you churn. You buy one, you sell it the next year.
Yeah, exactly. Like Kepa could easily go in the summer and we bring in someone else who's stylistically similar. He might not be the same level of quality as David Raya, but we're looking good there. the back line speaks for itself. It's phenomenal recruitment. The midfield is really cooking. The forward line is where if we look, without doing any analysis, anybody who has watched Arsenal knows where's the biggest area of growth in this team. It's the forward areas. Line. It's across the forward line.
And
so,
I don't know, mate. Look, to kind of tie it off, I really think it's absolutely unquestionable to look at defensive recruitment, given the attack is not finished. It hasn't had it. It would frustrate me to no levels not to finish that. And to me, it's simple. I would like a false 9 because, as I've said, we have so many prime age channel runners that we can't do it right now. When one of those leaves, you can buy a prospect that'll grow into that. And I have my prospects because I'm a nerd. But the more I think about it, the more I'd actually like us to keep a Ben White and do a prospect right back right now, given what I would like to do. If I want to spend big on one marquee and a versatile forward, which I still want to do, by the way, it may need 3 sales. It may need a Trossard, Jesus, and a Martinelli sale, and I'm okay to do that. I'm okay to do that.
Final one from me, and we'll close it here with this question on Mosquera being a threat as a right back in the final third. I was intrigued by this, George, because I
mentioned it.
Yeah, I looked at it in pre-season. He against Leeds, I remember he came on at right back. And for the Max Dowman penalty that he won, Mosquera makes a really good run on the outside. It's the power in which he comes through. I wonder. I don't know what his crossing is like though, because I watched Mosquera in length when we were linked to him. I didn't see because he barely played right back. He played on the left hand side of the defense predominantly. At times he did play on the right hand side, but he was very much his performances stemmed through at left centre back. So I'm intrigued about that because he's got the power in terms of the run. He's electric.
Easily. The motor's insane. I definitely think also
this guy's lightning, mate. I've seen it in this guy is lightning. The way he hits the ground. I remember there was a duel between him and Sharda. Sharda's rapid as well.
And do you know what I love about him though in those positions? The early release. You know, that progressive instinct that he's got, that will work wonders in the final third and about releasing. The thing is, I think his technique in crossing is going to be the question. If you worked on that and he developed that, he'd be a world-class right back.
He's got potential there.
He has potential.
I don't want him to be there, but I feel like there's
me neither. There. I think he has a higher ceiling with his attributes given his defensive fundamentals and his recovery pace in the back, and he's better developing that way. But he's got the motor, he's got the legs, he's got the running power. He just lacks the technique on the cross, in my opinion. But he's got the first time pass, the release early, by the way, are all things that you need from fullback in wide areas. You can't be second guessing it, and you've got to have a range to do those things. But I don't know, mate. I don't know. But then again, I could see Ben White being able to transition in his age as a backup center back. Couldn't you? And we've got Marley Salmon, who's an absolutely brilliant prospect.
Oh, he looked really composed when he came on against Portsmouth. He looked really
Don't you remember me I'm telling you, he's on the level of Ethan and Miles. I'm telling you, he is a first team player. Marley Salmon, one of the best, if not the best, tail end defender that we've produced.
I believe Saliba's mentoring him as well. I mean,
probably. So he's there. We've got the bridge. We don't need it. You know what I mean? Anyways, there's more to debate on the summer, but I think it was a worthy debate because we're looking at Gordon Links, we're looking at Semenyo City. Our rivals ended up saying it was worth it. And I don't think it's enough to basically sink our ship, but it's just enough to annoy me because I think it makes so many sense in the squad building.
We'll get annoyed after the parade once we win this league. Don't worry about
Facts.
it. Thank you so much, George, for joining me when Alex wasn't able to come today. But we'll be back next week with Alex for sure. No, I think for me, the final thing to discuss, just a quick one, score predictions for Forest on Saturday.
Mate, I had all this chest, and I just think it's a 2-1. It's going to be a tight game, in my opinion. Unfortunately, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? It's going to be the last 20 minutes. They're going to score. It will dominate. I'll tell you how the game's going to go. Dominate, get 2 goals. I don't think we'll walk 2-0. We'll have a goal in the first half. We'll get an early goal in the second half. Everything will be fine. 1 or 2 transitions will happen, and we're going to sink back. They're going to get a goal. 5-10 minutes of absolute annoyance. That's what I think is going to happen for Forest.
I hate. Obviously, we don't intend to do it, but I can't do it.
I can't be asked for that. I can't.
I literally just want to have a peaceful watch.
We deserve it.
Just do not give me on another day. I don't want it this Saturday. It's too soon. It's too soon. Yeah. I'm going 2-0. Feel like we'll be comfy. Got feeling. 10 minutes. Elliot Anderson scores. God's sake. Let's see. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you loved the TCP live today. A little bit more nerdy. We had a little bit of kid stuff as well there with the Disney films. Tarzan is the best. Phil Collins is a legend. But we'll be back soon. We've got the rewatch coming out tomorrow for you guys. That's with me and James, and we've got instant reaction on Saturday. Is there going to be a scouted?
Yeah, there's going to be a scouted. I think we're debating which one to do still yet. We've got your polls and your numbers in, but there'll be a scouted. We'll probably release it on Saturday.
Yeah, nice. Got scouted coming through. We've got the main pod coming up. We did a director's box phone in as well yesterday, which was good as well. And we just keep on rolling and loads of games to dissect. Thank you, George.
Thank you, good sir.
Thank you all for tuning in. Please do like, share, subscribe, hype, do all that sort of stuff. Leave us a rating on Spotify as well. And last but not least, thanks for keeping it Arsenal.
Tens of thousands of football fans came to Highbury. This was one kind of queue the ladies thoroughly enjoyed.
Electrifying. Inspiration.